Right, well, good morning. Got my camera on the selfie stick at the moment, and yeah, a few days ago I ordered some XP, is it XCP? What do you call it? This anyway, I bet he's showing you, isn't it? Some of this XCP Professional, and I read a couple of reports, this compared to the ACF 50, so I thought I'd give it a try this morning. And basically what I've been doing, as you can probably be able to see behind me, I've got the bike out and I've just been giving a bit of a spray around the exhaust, particularly around the suspension linkage, which is prone to seizing on these if you don't lubricate it. So I've had a lot of stuff sprayed round there. So where have we done it? Yeah, right, well, I've done it down there, and under here newspapers are flowing away. Not what you can see too well on the camera, I'll just tilt it a bit, but I did it in there, all around there, all the bits that are prone to it, a bit on the exhaust. I've wiped the wheel rims with GT85, trying not to get any on the pads. Yeah, so yeah, and put some around here as well. You can probably see it's a bit globulous around there, it's still dripping off. But yeah, one thing I have noticed with it straight away, I'm going to pick up the rubbish, is that it goes a lot further than the ACF 50, because you can spray it and you get a lot more coverage out of it, especially with a little tube thing that goes on. So far it's a bit thicker than the ACF 50, first impressions, but it seems to be sticking pretty well from what I can see. So I'm not going mad with it. I don't know what to put on the radiator. I was using that FS365 stuff, but after reading some reports on it, I thought I'd give it a miss. You know, stuff by Scott, it's Scott Oils. So I'm not sure what I'm going to put on the radiator. I always clean it, you know, sort of rinse it with cold water and things after a ride in the salt. And of course I don't deliberately go out to go in the salt, but sometimes commuting to work, it's a necessity. So I wonder what you spray on your radiator. Do you put anything at all on it? Any sort of WD-40 or anything? I'm going to put it out on a couple of the forums, see what people come back with, but you'd be interested to know, do you spray anything on your radiator at winter to stop the corrosion? Alright, that's it for about now. Right, well, I've already done this video once, and just a bit of an add-on to the one I did yesterday. As you probably remember, yesterday I started winterising my bike with that XCP rust protector stuff, whatever it's called, and really it's just a follow-up on some observations that I had with it. As I said, I did this a few minutes ago, but I forgot to plug the microphone in properly, so hopefully you can hear me now. But anyway, I've used the XCP stuff, and I warmed it up for about 10 minutes and used a spray in it. But I was asking whether anybody had any thoughts on what to spray on the radiator, because I think last year I used the Scott oil, it's the FS365. What you do with that basically is you wet the bike and then you spray it on. And I did it all over the radiator, it seemed to do the trick. But after reading a few reports on it, wasn't overly convinced that it was actually keeping up its claim to fame. So I thought I'd give it a try. So I'm debating at the moment whether to put the GT85 on it or the XCP anti-rust. But I won't be using the ACF 50 because it's a bit expensive. But somebody came back on one of the forums and said to me, oh well, just wash it with water, cold water. I suppose that's as good with the aluminium, isn't it? But I'll just show you, I'll just move the selfie stick down so I can show you a bit better. I'll just show you what it looks like. I don't know if you can see, but when it's actually stuck on it, yeah, it is, it's a sticky coating. It's much than the ACF 50. I don't know whether you can quite see here, not the best light is it, but I've sprayed the mounting bolts of the radiator, and up there is the horns. I've given that a right good soaking on it, so I'm hoping that that'll probably ward off the worst of the salt. I haven't been using the bike that much actually at the moment because the good lady's not been so well with the back problem and I haven't been able to drive, so I've been using the car more to work than anything else. So, but I will be going out on it. I'm off up to the gym later on to a bit of a workout, and I'll probably be going to work on it tomorrow. I don't mind if it's dry, but if it's wet and obviously icy, then I prefer to give the bike a miss. And I think there was only one day last year where I didn't use the bike, and that was because it ended up stranded at work. I couldn't get it started. It didn't have a flat battery, it was just that it wouldn't start. It was that cold outside overnight. So yeah, but I did vow that I wouldn't use the bike as much to commute to work, but you know, sometimes it's a no-brainer, isn't it? It's either a taxi, it's a bit too much for a taxi from where I am, and the alternative's to use the bus, and the bus, a couple of bus rides, and it takes about a couple of hours to get to work. It's only 15-16 mile, but nevertheless, that's all for now then.
Turned out nice again, hasn't it?